Hey Metal VC, this is Spencer, back from a very long break. Sorry for that. It happens on this channel. So, anyway, moving right along. I thought I'd do something new this time. I'm going to do an artist spotlight, and that spotlight is going to be on the English band FEN. So, FEN is from London, England. They formed in 2006. They're originally from a region in England called the Fens, which is known for its very flat and mysterious landscapes. They play a style of atmospheric black metal with some post-metal influence as well. And their lyrical themes are often about solitude, sadness, and nature. So I'm a huge fan of this band, and I thought I'd go through their discography and share my thoughts. So, their first full-length album was called The Malediction Fields. It came out in 2009, and I have it here on vinyl. My copy is on Eisenwald from 2013. All their albums have really neat artwork. Nice gatefold there. And I think just about all their albums on vinyl are double. Most of them are black, just a black one with the labels there. And you can see the logo, which hasn't changed much in their whole career. There it is. You can make that out. It's kind of hard to make out, but yeah. Cool stuff. Really nice logo. So, a bit about this album. It's very harsh sounding compared to their later works. So it's quite harsh, quite raw sounding than their later albums, which is to be expected. But the songwriting is very good for a first album. And it definitely hints at what's to come, so I'll talk about that in later albums. But I would say it's a very solid debut. I think I might actually like this more than their second album because it doesn't have a lot of folky elements. I'm not always into that. I like it in small doses, but so not big on the folky elements, and has quite a dark atmosphere, which I enjoy. So second album now. Second album is called Epic. Second album is called Epic, and it came out in 2011. On code 666, and my copy is code 66 Earl Magic in 2015. This one is not a gatefold. It has a nice glossy cover, so probably hard for you to see. But I especially like that cover because it's a heart, and I have a heart on my tattoo of a heart, anatomical heart, so that's kind of neat. Again, it is a double vinyl with the labels on there, the song titles, and the logo, as the last one did. And there's like some photos of grass and lyrics and stuff. What can I say about this one? Very atmospheric, more so than the first album, with a lot of quiet, almost post-rock passages. Between the blasty, noisy parts. So it alternates between a strong black metal scream and clean singing, talking at times as well. And standout tracks are Epic, Wilderness and Ruin, Carrier of Echoes are some standout tracks. So very solid second album. Like I said, definitely more of the post-metal, post-rock kind of feel on this one than the first album. Not necessarily a turn-off for me, but just maybe not what I always gravitate towards. But yeah, very good second album. And album number 3 is Dustwalker, which came out in 2013. And mine is on code 666. So, yeah, like I said, this is Dustwalker. cool logo there. Sorry, cool artwork there. And cool gatefold. And again, it's on black vinyl, but also has some cool logos. These look cool. Just like hands in a circle, so when it spins, it kind of looks like hands are moving. It's kind of neat. Yeah, so what can I say about Dustwalker? It has a bit of a thinner production than the last two albums, but it's still fine, still enjoyable. Starts off strong with a banger, and but definitely has some more melodic parts that I would say shine through than the first two albums, and starting to get into the more epic song structures, which will definitely play a bigger role coming up in later albums. I would say Consequence is the standout track on this, and the Spectre and the Black Sound. So, Dustwalker, great album from 2013. Moving on to album number 4. Album number 4 is Carrion Skies from 2014. This one is also a gatefold. Sorry for the glare, it is a glossy album cover, so. And this one actually has some colored vinyl. Like I said, all of these are double vinyl. So we've got a silver, solid silver, and then the other one is blue. So, Carrion Skies, bit more harsh vocal than the last album. Sounds more reminiscent of John Home from Eglock, who's another one of my favorite bands. I would say they are definitely kindred spirit bands, as well as Alcest from France, Winterfell also from England, and Primordial from Ireland. All these bands share traits for sure. So if you like one, you probably like any one of those bands. If you're not familiar, but you probably are already. Yeah, so another very great album, but it is very similar to Dustwalker. I would say these two are probably the two most similar albums in their discography. Yeah, so moving right along to album number 5, which is Winter. And I'd say this is probably their breakout album. So if you've heard of FEN at all, you've probably heard of this album. This is an interesting one. This came out in 2017. Not a gatefold, but it is a double album. But the interesting thing about this album is it is a concept album about winter. And I've seen conflicting reports. Is this one track broken into 6 parts, or is it 6 tracks? I'm not really sure. It is a concept album, I think. Dealing with winter, the bleakness of winter, the loneliness, isolation, all those things. And it is also the last album to feature their drummer, their founding drummer. All these guys go by, have black metal names. The guitarist is known as the Watcher, guitarist and vocals. The bass player is known as Grungen, I think is how you say it. So bass and vocals. And then the old drummer, which I don't have in front of me, so the old drummer was known as Durwood, and their new drummer is known as Havenless. This is an amazing album. Highly recommend it. Like I said, it's probably their breakout album. Production is miles above all the other albums. Not that the other ones were bad by any means, but this one is just very, very much higher production, notably longer songs, way more epic sounding. Like I said, the first track is 15 minutes long. They'd never done that before. And just, getting into more proggy elements. But yeah, the production definitely their best overall yet. And songwriting, transitions, loud to quiet parts, much smoother sounding than ever before, much more natural sounding. And if you are new to this band, this is where you would start. I think this is just such a phenomenal album. Can't say enough good things about it. So yeah, now we're getting into more recent albums by FEN, with the 6th album in their discography being The Dead Light from 2019. Here it is. So yeah, they have perfected their sound now. New drummer is fully integrated, sounds amazing. The bass also has taken a huge step forward with this album, I believe. And it's just getting even more epic sounding even now. Just getting more epic sounding now. But the songs have actually gotten shorter than on Winter, than on the previous album. Even though the songs are shorter here, they're definitely way more progressive sounding. With technical parts, odd time signatures, stuff like that. But all while incorporating their trademark sound, which is really, really cool, I think. And they really remind me, especially on this one, of Enslaved. I think they show a lot of similarities to Enslaved on this album. 8 tracks. So yeah, as I said, the song lengths are shorter. But yeah, just the right lengths, in my opinion. Awesome album. And then that brings us to their most recent album, which came out earlier this year, 2023. This is Monuments to Absence, also on Prophecy. But again, this changed a bit from the last couple. This is just unbridled fury. It's actually playing in the background right now. There's no clean singing at all on this album. No folky elements to be found whatsoever. I'm not even sure there's any acoustic guitar interludes or anything like that on this album. It's just a full-on black metal attack. There are still some atmospheric moments, but yeah, it's, I would say, their most black metal album to date. It's just awesome. So yeah, they sound like a newly recharged band on this album, which I think is very rare for a band that's been doing it for over 10 years now. Just awesome. And I would also say that this is truly a pandemic album. I say that because I think there's a sense of impending doom and hopelessness in this album. I believe they wrote it and then recorded it over the pandemic, so that makes sense, I think. And it just permeates through the whole album, but in a very beautiful way, I think. I think that they've really captured something special with this album, and I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a classic in the future. I really think it's that good. So there, as I already kind of alluded to, there are no prog elements on this album. This is just straight black metal, but with that kind of modern feel that bands like Uada, Magua, bands like that kind of are almost in a similar vein to this. Yeah. So yeah, just filled with, you know, pure anger, sadness, sorrow, you know, all those great negative emotions, but they just channel it in such a beautiful way that, yeah, it's just awesome. So that's FEN's discography. I kind of blasted through it, but yeah, I think I said everything about them I wanted to say. So yeah, if you're not familiar with this band, check them out. If you are familiar, listen again, because repeat listens just bring out more things, I think. And they're one of those bands. There's so many layers, so much going on. You can tell they really spend a lot of time on their albums to make them special, and I really think this is a great special band. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, I think. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll get off my ass and make another video soon. Okay, see you later.